Well, I find myself being very happy that this has happened. And I've said this is going to probably happen for some time, that somebody was going to do this. And, I always warn people that somebody's going to do this if they do something stupid, or if some crazy might harm somebody if they keep doing something stupid. In this case, it was an object. This was the Georgia Guidestones. And I've told people for years that this was not a good thing. This place was not a good thing. It promoted the New World Order. It promoted, I called it the death clock. If you measured it correctly, it basically measured Zika, COVID, all those things that they were trying to time, even though COVID was mistimed. And they were leading up to something that they were going to pull. Well, this signifies that basically somebody's hit the snooze button and just smashed it and said, no, this alarm clock done. And they basically hit the snooze button with a hammer. What happened is it got blown up. The reason being, this signifies that timeline has come to a close. Some people could probably argue that it's a cabal not needing anymore. They've ran that clock out, kind of like the whole Mayan calendar was run its course sort of thing, as it was based on the same type of cyclical patterns, saying, oh, we don't need this anymore, we can cancel it out. Maybe we'll make people think that we're not following this anymore. I don't think so. I feel this is, in my opinion, it signifies the end of that timeline, the end of that era. And to me, it's good riddance. They finally did it. They finally blew it up. It's like the end of the Planet of the Apes. Damn you all to hell, you blew it up. Well, they had the Statue of Liberty that got blown up. Not that I'm promoting this. That's actually decent, even though that's a cabal symbol of sacred feminine worship, but also oppression, and it means that they rule here. That said, the Georgia Guidestones was worse, because it signified the timings of all the bad events that they were doing, including whittling the population down to 500 million in accordance with nature, getting rid of useless officials, things of that nature. They've already succeeded in getting rid of some useless officials, but there's a good thing in there, where you get rid of officials that are redundant. Granted, that's like basically Empire on Star Wars, getting rid of the whole useless officials thing that I pointed out in Obi-Wan Kenobi. Look at those recordings if you want them more in depth. But to me, this was a good day finding that out. This signifies that truly that timeline has truly changed. So not promoting that level of vandalism, that is probably the only structure that I would have promoted blowing up. So it's good someone got to it, and I'm actually hoping they got away with it. Hopefully they don't get punished for that one, because that actually is a good thing. I don't think anybody's ever going to be found. One could say that somebody in a secret project did it. Could have been a white hat that did it, basically telling everybody, hey, that timeline's crumbling. One could argue that point. Again, one could argue the negative side did it too, kind of convince everybody it was done. But I believe it's more on the white hat end of the spectrum. That's the feeling I get, that someone genuine and good did it. If they were ever caught, they would be labeled as a terrorist, mind you. That's how some of these white hats are labeled. If they're ever out in the open, they're labeled as terrorists, saying, oh, look at this person's a terrorist. They're going after cops. They're going after soldiers. They're going after... It's like, no. There was an incident where there was a white hat military guy shooting at cops. They're like, see, he's a terrorist. He's shooting at cops. That's where you have to look when they're labeled terrorists. Not like the Arab terrorists, but I'm talking about homegrown. Those were not cops he was shooting at. Those were enemy soldiers dressed as cops, just like how the projects have people dressed up in cable repair uniforms and in maintenance uniforms, hard hats, all that stuff, sewer workers, all that. The same goes with police. So yeah, he was shooting at enemy soldiers. But all people could see was the badge and the uniform. You got to look past it as to who the individuals are. So with that said, I mean, respect the uniform when it's the true ones, genuine ones, and good ones, not corrupt and not imposter. But back to the Georgia Guidestone, again, to sum it up, it signifies that timeline's done. One could also argue that, as I said before, the cabal covering the tracks, making people think, oh, they've been defeated by white hats too, like the conversion from cabal to cue ball, essentially. But since that's been defunct, They maybe they one could argue that they're making it look like they're disappearing, like what the Nazis did. They threw some of their lower levels under the bus and made everybody thought they lost the Second World War when essentially they were going to Argentina, the moon, and Mars and Ceres, and Antarctica, like with Operation High Jump. Admiral Byrd discovered that in '47 after the Roswell incident, I believe. So then eventually, they came in through Operation Paperclip. So that's a trick on their part to sometimes infiltrate and make people think that they're done when they're not. It's a common trick the cabal likes to use. I keep an open mind. Well, I'm keeping an open mind there too, but this feels more white hat-ish to me because the Q thing got defunct, so they had to switch gears, but they still had to follow their going away party type of thing. Not that they aren't. I'm just saying that they're still following that narrative and they follow it until death. I keep an open mind there, but this still feels benevolent to me that whoever got rid of it. No, actually, it's an end of an era. End of an era. That's what I keep hearing. Damn, man, the downloads come in erratically. I do apologize. End of an era. That's what I just heard. 1:29 p.m. Wednesday, July 6, 2022. Thank you.